So I've been using the Moto Razr for a few weeks now, and overall it's a really fun phone, great value, but here are 4 reasons why I still reach for my Galaxy S24 base model. I know the S24 costs a little bit more than the Moto Razr, $800 compared to $700, but the biggest difference is not in terms of performance or anything. If you're just using your phone normally, not doing aggressive gaming or anything like that, YouTube, Twitter, social media, they both perform pretty similar. But the biggest reason why I prefer the S24 more is just the form factor. It's just much easier to type with one hand, it's easier to hold, and even so, the S24 is still challenging to hold and type with one hand, even though it's considered a small base model. But it's roughly 6.2 inches, maybe 6.3, I keep forgetting, they keep bumping it up and bumping it down. But regardless, it's closer to the 6-inch range. The Moto Razr phone, on the other hand, is about 6.8 or 6.9, closer to 7 inches, so much harder to use with one hand. And it just depends on your lifestyle. Me being a dad, I'm always holding my son, and I don't always have 2 hands available, so single-handed use is a big priority for me. Just want to give a quick shout out to my partner Mint Mobile. Currently, they offer a 5G plan for as low as $15 a month. You do have to buy 3 months up front. You get access to unlimited data, talk, and text. Overall, it is a great deal, so make sure to check them out. Link in the description below. Second reason why I prefer a regular slab phone more than a flipping phone is you don't have to open it up. So it goes back to the first reason, is you just want to grab your phone and use it. You don't want to have to figure out how to open the phone. With folding phones, you got to pry in your finger and then you can flick it open, or you can pry it in and stretch it open, or my personal favorite, I like to cradle against my stomach and force it open. Regardless, it's so many steps to be able to use it, and it's a lot of extra work. You can use the outer display if you don't want to open your phone, but you get limited functionality on the outer screen. You can't do everything you want, and it's half the screen. So it's just much easier to use a full screen display compared to half a display. That's my biggest gripe of folding and flipping phones. I like the idea of it, but it's just a lot of effort to use. It's a cool idea, it's just not practical. And one thing that's missing from the regular Moto Razr is always on display. This is not life-changing feature or anything like that, but it's personally helpful for me. I just like to glance at my phone, see if there's notification, then I can address it. If not, I'll just ignore it. But if it's just a blank black screen, I'll never look at it. There's no light indicator, there's nothing telling me there's notification there. So if you want the always on display, you have to get the Plus model, which is $1,000. I don't think it's worth it just for that alone. So I just prefer my base S24 has always on display. It even have the cool background in the back, that Samsung copy from Apple. I think it looks nice, and just in terms of ease of use and being practical, I like having my notification available without me having to touching or lifting up the phone to wake it up. And last but not least, this may be just a me problem, but for some reason when I'm using Moto Razr, and I use the Google Discover page pretty often just to read the news, but for some reason when I use the Moto Razr, it would often disconnect, or I just wouldn't get anything. There's no news refreshing, it's just blank screen or with an error. I guess if I restart the phone it might fix it, but at the same time I use my S24, my Google Discover page works fine. So who knows, maybe there was an outage or something, but it happens pretty frequently with the Moto Razr phone. And just this one in particular though, I've never had this issue in the past with any of the other Motorola phones I've used. So those are the 3 reasons why I prefer the S24 more than the Moto Razr. But that should not deter you from getting a Razer phone in itself. I think the Razer is a really good phone. So I also have 4 reasons why you should get the Razer. If you never tried a folding or flipping phone before, this is a great phone at an affordable price at $700. When flipping phones were first introduced, they were $1,300, $1,200, and even now they're still hovering around the $1,000 mark. I love that Moto Razr is offering a more budget-friendly version of it. $700 is not really budget, but it's still reasonable for a flagship phone. So I think $700 is a pretty good deal just in terms of getting your feet wet with a folding phone. And it has a large display, which is easy to use. You can view all your notification. You can use basically all the apps you want much easier, and it is more intuitive. On the Samsung flipping phone, you have to download an app and then go download another app and then go to the settings. There's a lot of tinkering involved if you want to just use apps on the outside screen. With the Razer phone, everything's all set up. You hit plus if you want to add an app. You hit minus, you want to subtract an app. Really intuitive, really easy to use, and it does come in handy because sometimes I just don't want to open my phone. I can use all the apps right there with the phone folded up. And third reason why you should get the Razer instead of the Plus is it feels basically just like the Plus. Like day-to-day basis, I don't really notice that much of a difference. I know the Plus got a better chip. They have the always on display, but the base model, I guess is considered a base model, it has the ultra wide camera, which I prefer more. For whatever reason on the Plus model, they removed the ultra wide and replaced it with the telephoto. Telephoto is nice. I don't find that I use it that often though. I'd rather have the ultra wide angle just to capture views and sceneries. So I think the base model is a better deal compared to the Plus just because of that alone. But it's also missing always on display, so it's kind of a trade-off. I like ultra wide angle cameras. I like always on display. These basic functionality have been around for years, and unfortunately the base model is missing the always on display. And fourth reason why you want to consider getting a flipping phone in general is that you like to take a lot of selfies. This phone allows you to take a selfie using your main camera. You can have your phone folded up and just snap right there. You get to preview yourself. With any other regular slot phone, I guess you can just turn your phone around, take a selfie, but you wouldn't be able to position yourself and align yourself. So these flipping phones give you that flexibility. And the only weird thing about it is when you take the picture, it's gonna be in like a vertical or a crop format. So I don't know, depending on what you're using it for, you're putting on Instagram, I guess that's fine. But if you want the full horizontal picture, that's not the case if you use the phone when it's folded up. So just keep that in mind. Overall, I like the Moto Razr. It just personally doesn't fit my lifestyle. Doesn't mean it cannot fit your lifestyle. So you want something cool and exciting that doesn't break the bank. If you've been watching the flipping market and folding phone market before making a decision, I think after a few years of these phones being out, this one is really good and reliable at a decent price. And it's been out for a few months now. You might even get it $600 or $500. Wouldn't even surprise me there. So that makes it an even better deal. If you just want something simple and basic, like the Galaxy S24 has dust resistant, you don't want to have to deal with a fragile folding phone. You don't want to have to avoid the beach and the sand and breaking the screen like I did with my Razer Plus when I have a sand grain get inside of the screen. So if simple and basic is your thing, just get any regular slot phone. If you want to try something fun, new, exciting, you like flicking your phone out, or you like always have two hands available, don't have to worry about opening and closing the phone, then that's entirely up to you. Really no right or wrong answer. It just depends on your need. Let me know what your thoughts are flipping phones in general. Do you like them or you find them to be gimmicky? I appreciate the time as always. Remember to like and subscribe. Let me know if you have any questions or thoughts in the comments below, and see you guys in the next video.